Hey everyone, it's Celeste and welcome to my booktube channel. Holy smokes, has it been a crazy few weeks. I have not filmed a Saturday Bookish Chat in too many Saturdays. I blame it mostly on how busy things have been. I think if you go back and look at some of my videos, you see that I've been involved in a play, and that play, we have shows on Friday and Saturday, and so sometimes I didn't get to film a Bookish Chat because I was too busy doing stuff, getting ready for that evening or whatever. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I do know that I did not film, I did a Get Ready With Me and I talked about some of the books I was reading. I'm like mostly sure I didn't film any wrap-ups for like March or April. So I'm gonna let March go because here we are in May. But I thought I would talk about, I was trying to think about what I would talk about today in this chat. I do have like a stack of books that I'm interested in reading for AAPI because that's the month of May. And I am more or less like trying to choose authors that would apply to that. I try to do that in general, but especially like be cognizant of it in the month of May. And then also just keep plugging along at my reading goals. So let me talk about the reading month that I had in April. I can say that I had a pretty good reading month in March. Some of that was spring break, some of that was just I just kept doing it. I read more pages and more titles in this March than I did last March. Well, in April, I read more last April than I did this April. This April 2023, I only read 8 titles. So I kind of feel some kind of way about that, but that's what I did. I read Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I read Caveman, Aliens, Treasure, which is number 12 in that series by Callista Sky. I read The Wrong Bridesmaid by Lauren something. I don't know. I don't remember. Sorry. I read Bad Mother. And those two are both like Kindle Unlimited choices. I read Snap Out of It, which was another romance on Kindle Unlimited. I read Heartstopper Volume 3. I read All Systems Red, which was number 1 in the Murderbot series. And then I finished, finally, The Office, The Untold Story, which was a nonfiction book that I had been reading for way too long. Just way too long. And so that was 8 total titles, and my average rating across the board for all of them came out to an even 3.0. So it was okay. It's kind of meh. I didn't have any 5-star reads. Like the highest I had was 4-star reads, and I just didn't find a book that I was just, ready to add to the 5-star list. As far as page count goes, my total number of pages was 2,748, which means that the average page length for the books that I was reading last month was 343.5. So doing all right as far as trying to read longer things. Whenever I pick up a book, I try to kind of look and say, is this 300 or more or whatever? Just trying to push on that. So, so far for 2023, approximately, because, you could be off. Some of these are audiobooks and whatever, and I don't know how they necessarily factor those in on, like, Goodreads sometimes. But total pages for 2023 so far is 12,046. So that's the first 4 months. So I'm doing okay as far as page count. I really hope that I up the page count in some of my other months, especially in the summer. Because, that's okay. But if I multiply that out by 3, because, 3 times 4 is 12, I just don't know that I feel like that's, I guess that's close to 50,000. I would like to do more than 50,000 pages read this year, but that's just, you know, getting ahead of myself. So let me compare it to 2022. So in April of 2022, I read 11 total titles, but looking at it, I can tell you, I read some comics, some graphic novel / comic volumes or whatever. So I think that might have inflated it a little. I did enjoy my reading a bit more because the average star rating for April of 2022 was 3.27. So I did have some better ratings. Notably, last year in April, I finished Project Hail Mary, which I gave 5 stars. So there you go on that one. Total pages read. I did read more pages because I read more titles, but I did read more pages. I had read 3,202 total pages, but when you multiply that out by the number of titles, my average page length for April of 2022 was only 291.09. So I was reading more, but they weren't necessarily longer pieces, like longer works. Like I was reading, the average length of the things I was reading this year was about 50 pages more than before. So, you know, like that, like I guess looking at it that way, I'm staying on track as far as what, you know, what I mean to do this year as far as that goes. If you look at this other video, I either have already posted it or I'm about to post it, but the Book Bitches are starting up bingo. So every summer for the past 2 summers, this is the 3rd summer, we come up with like sort of a bookish bingo. I know that you can find them through like reading challenges and whatever. It's kind of like a reading challenge. And we do it amongst us. There's 6 of us in a group now. And we brainstorm together what kinds of ideas we have. And the funny thing is like, I think that most of us are really understanding our reading identities more because of our IRL book group, you know, and like, oh, I really enjoy these types of books, but not so much these types of books. And not because we just think so, but because we've tried to read some of these books and we've learned that about ourselves. And so that's one of the wonderful things about being in a book club book group, whatever. So anyway, I will put, well, I don't think I'll put the link here. I'll have the link in my other videos where I talk specifically about the book bingo. But we used an online generator to use the prompts that we came up with and put them on the card. I clearly printed my card. I also have like a screen grab on my phone so I can check real quick on my phone to see like what box a book might cover. We're not double dipping though. So only 1 book per square. And I know that I've already looked on my shelves and some of my books could cover more than 1 square. So I'll have to be maybe like careful about how I choose my books, I guess. I don't know. What I will probably do is put the book on, like write it on one of those little post-it notes and put them on. I tried that before and it worked out pretty well for me. And I think on the back of the post-it note, I can put this one could be for this category, this category, this category, because some of the categories, you know, the way the books are printed or the way they're named or whatever they're about, they could cover more than 1 square, like, but they can only, I have to decide which square they go for. But anyway, yeah, so I'm excited by that. That's going to kind of drive some of my reading this summer a little bit, try to like work on the bingo. So in the past years, we've started it basically on June 1st and then through the rest of the summer. This year, as a group, at our last meeting, we decided to go ahead and start the card. So we brainstormed titles on May the 7th, and by that night, May the 8th, whatever, we had ourselves a card and I sent out the link. And so now we're starting to work on that. In the past years, we were a little more willy-nilly about it, but I think that this year we decided that we're going to meet in September to talk about how we did and give us a little bit of accountability, because it's not really a competition, because that's not what this is about. It's more of a sort of a fun kind of challenge thing, because I know that a lot of us have a competitiveness to our nature, but we're competing with ourselves, I guess. And so just to sort of like, I guess, have bragging rights or something, be like, good job. And then everybody else can be like, oh, good job, high five, right? So yeah, there's going to be some of that. So I'm going to have some videos where I talk about my specific card. And I think in those videos, I'll have the link. So if you want to get yourself a card using our prompts, okay, cool. But just realize some of our prompts have to do with like inside jokes that came from our interactions. So you would see something on the card and you'd be like, why did they put this on the card? I could tell you, but it would probably not make as much sense to you because it's something that we have joked about at one of our meetings at some point, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I think that's it. I mean, I did have some other things I wanted to talk about, but I mean, it would be too much to fit in any one video, so I'm just going to cut it off here. But I'm going to hopefully, I only have 2 more weeks of school. And then I am working in the summer, but it's not as strenuous, I don't think. And so maybe I won't be so tired. Like, I've just been, like, literally, I'll come home, I'll do what I need to do to, like, decompress or whatever, and then I just pit the hay. I'll read a little bit, and then I'll end up just collapsing in bed and sleeping and not filming and whatever. Reading's going okay, but again, a lot of it's having to be audiobooks on the way to work because it's just... So anyway, thanks for watching this if you got all the way through it, and I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!